Progressive Gaming Channel. So ito yung recording ko ng live reaction ko sa The Shift kanina. So hinati-hati ko siya kasi masyadong mahaba yung video, 3 hours ata. So ginawan ko siya ng 10 parts para mas mabilis ninyong mapuntahan or maintindihan. Tapos sinamarize ko na yung mga importante. Pero syempre, pwede nyo pa rin naman puntahan sa channel ng Summoners War mismo kung gusto nyo mapanood yung buong video. Pero napakahaba niya nga, ng mga 3 hours, almost 4 hours ata siya. Or almost 3 hours, ganun. So ito parang nasa around 1 hour 50 minutes lang. And then, kinumpile ko lang yung mga importanteng notes or mga importanteng sinabi doon sa updates nila kaninang umaga. Yun. So, anong reaction ko? Tignan nyo na lang yung video. Alright. Enjoy, guys. Ligo na ako. Alright, what's up, PJC? And 2 minutes na lang. Ayan na yung The Shift. And gusto ko manood ng live and record to kung anong reaction ko. Kakagising ko lang din. Nagkakape pa nga lang ako. Medyo sikit pa nga ako. Okay, so bago magsimula, no, ang una kong reaction is kahit anong gawin nila, okay lang. Wag lang nilang baguhin yung pinaka parang engine or yung pinakasabi nating yung method ng laro. No, okay lang kahit magbago sila ng graphics o kaya magbago sila ng sabihin natin mga design ganun o kaya yung character. Okay lang, no? Kaya lang wag nilang babaguhin na totally yung laro, yung parang nangyari dati sa Ragnarok, no? Ginawa nilang 3D, Ragnarok 2 ganun, pati yung sa Dragoness na ano. Kasi parang para sa akin hindi maganda. No, kasi hindi naman lahat may gusto ng ganun eh. Ewan ko ba't sila magde-decide ng ganun, no? Para sa akin yun lang, no. Ayoko lang sanang maging ganun yung decision ng management, no. Sana ganito pa din. Kahit magbago sila ng konting graphics o kaya kung ano man. Okay lang, no. Basta wag lang sobrang major or sobrang laki. Kasi hindi magiging baka hindi magustuhan na iba. Pati ako hindi ko rin magugustuhan. Okay? Ayan na ho. Oh, ganyan din ako eh. Pag-iising. Wah? Yan, yan. Ito nga bang kumakain pa eh. Kain, naliligo. Ayan. Hindi ako nag-graphs. Crystal? Alright.
Yeah, bro, like, you pick the color. Wait for it.
Oh, that is.
Yeah! Oh, no! Come on.
Mukhang di naman nila papalitan.
With this scroll, I summon Bernard! Bernard!
Hey,
Yo!
still playing? Watch it.
The Summoners War champion. There he is.
Of SWC 29!
Kailangan ko ganyan. Ano bang ano? Kung tuwas dito sa ito may violent close. Gawin nilang parang yung ano
세계 소환사님들 반갑습니다. 2020년 서머너즈워 언택트 유저 간담회.
Summoners War The Shift. My name is Come To Us Evan.
And I'm Come To Us
Epi. And we're here today to be your English hosts through this massive update dev stream. We've done it all online and contactless.
Yeah, and with a lot of people. Right now, as you guys can see, we have over 60 influencers, summoners from all over the world joining us together. This
Hindi
new
kasama si
content,
ano
like
dun,
Kevin
guys.
said.
Hindi
And also,
kasama
I
si
wanted to send a
Bagel.
big kiss to
Tsaka si
Brazil
Foxy.
and to our
Si
Spanish
Sean
community.
bilang ang
Love
kilala
you,
kong
Brazil.
in-invite nila.
Nice.
Sa 50 influencers.
Big kiss, guys. It's
Tsaka
gonna be a
ako, right?
beautiful night, and we're gonna
Wala,
talk
asa
a
pa.
little bit about what's
Si
going
Sean
on.
Beast,
So I wanted
tsaka
to
si ano
see
lang.
from you guys, what do you think is coming with this new
Siya lang,
update?
siya lang
I was
kilala
very
kong
curious.
na-invite.
Do you know what's coming out?
Dude, I know it's amazing.
Are you excited? Yeah, very excited.
I'm very stoked.
I love this video that showed a little bit of our history. These 6 years and the games just keep expanding.
Hey, there's everybody right there. Oh, it's us. Look
Yes.
at that. We're on the screen. That's amazing.
Yes. We see Shays over there. We see Pat. Why? Because I'm a G Monagua. Mr. Sloth.
Slotchy.
Look at that.
Why? Because I'm a G.
Yes.
Ah.
Byungja also.
Myungja. Good
One
to
of
see
my
you
favorite
guys.
streamers.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome.
And like we were saying before, 14 casters in all regions, multiple languages, and we're really glad to have you guys with us. We're going to be speaking English mainly today, but we would have some commentary in Portuguese and Spanish too. So if you guys have any doubts in chat, make sure to ask us questions.
Yes, so we've got Twitch chat open again, so if you have questions, you can ask us as we go along, and when we get that developer presentation portion of the stream going on, we'll be making sure to translate what's being said so that you guys know everything to expect in this upcoming update.
Exactly. And also, guys, looking over at all these influencers that we're seeing, do you have a favorite streamer, a favorite
my
content
goodness.
creator? I want to see in chat. Send your love to the streamer, to the YouTuber that you like the most. I'm kind of, for me, it's suspiciously difficult because there's so many, not only
Look
friends
at Mards up there. Mards is
Oh
up there
my
too.
God,
Like
we love
Dude,
Mards.
we love Mards.
Look at that. Island Grown, Jew Bagel,
Yeah.
Foxy,
Foxy,
Sean B,
Sean B,
baby.
nice, good
We love all of
represent.
you guys.
Present. Where's Bagel?
nandyan
Man,
siya,
I
buti na lang.
want to say hi to Bagel.
Monagua.
Somebody send my love to Bagel
Whitey.
Island, everybody, guys. You guys can all have it. I saw Why, because I'm a G
Buti
in chat
naman.
earlier too. He's everywhere.
He's ever.
Sabi niya dun sa last niyang video, wala daw siyang invite
It's
eh.
amazing that you all could join us.
Sabi
no
niya,
matter what time.
baka
I know it's kind of
nagluloko
a
lang.
difficult time for people too. And just in case you want to watch it again or get your answered later, this whole broadcast is going to be on our YouTube afterwards.
Let's say hi to everyone here. I think we'll see today with having the opportunity of the developers.
What I do is help craft the larger universe around Summer's work. The larger universe around Summer's work.
Summon Bernard. Bernard, go!
Naku, patay tayo dyan. Ano yun? Parang sinasabi nila may dati siyang history. Naku, wag niyong gagawin. Naku, parang 3D summoners.
And we're back, guys. So what we just saw right now
Sana
was a little
force.
video about the IP expansion of Summoners War, and you can see that there's a lot of different games, comics, there's a novel all coming out, and from what we can tell, they're all prequels as well. They all happen before this main game of Summoners War that we've known for 6 years.
What I love is being able to see that timeline. It's a huge story.
Right.
It's hundreds of years.
Sana lang talaga wag nilang gawing 3D tapos yung laro yung hindi mo na pwedeng i-play, yung kailangan mo na talaga maglaro para Mobile Legends. Nako po, sa GG. Pangit yung ganun. Yun nga yung uniqueness ng Summoners War eh. Pwede mo siyang iwan habang may ginagawa kang iba. Kaya once na nilagay nila yun sa hindi na ganun, patay, maubusan sila ng player. Mangilan-ngilan lang yung matitira dyan. GG. Sana wag, no? Sana ganito pa din. Magbago na lang sila ng graphics, ng design, magdagdag sila ng dungeon, ganun. Dagdag nila yung background. Ano yun? May si Takesh yung nag-propose nun eh. Sabi niya, magkaroon na lang daw ng, kunwari, nag-run ka sa Necro Baten. Pwede mo i-minimize yan. Yung parang ginagawa nila sa pag nag-invite ka sa Rift. Yun, ganun. Tapos, nasa base ka, nakikita mo, kung tapos na yung maliit na icon na lang siya. Kung tapos na yung Necro 10 mo. Tapos may may temporary storage. Para kahit nasa base ka lang daw, pwede kang mag-replay. May maliit na icon doon, replay, tapos na. Tapos kunwari may 100 runes na pwede lang itago, ganun. Yun. Pero parang semi-auto. Yun, parang ganun. Pero okay lang. Para sa akin parang okay lang, no? Ang tanong ko doon, paano pag hindi pa 100% yung success rate ng team, 'di ba? Paano yun? Nilalabas doon fade, ganun. Yan, hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin. Kung gagawin nga nila yun. Pero parang ang bigat sa nun, parang ang bigat sa modification tsaka sa server. Kasi parang lumalabas yung isang screen ng isang player. Naging dalawa na eh. May isang parang virtual desktop, ganun. Virtual screen. Yung sa naman, saan pa may mga nagsuggest dyan? May suggestion din yung iba na yun nga, yung gawin nilang TOA Hell, yun. May TOA Hell daw. Oh, ako okay lang yun. Kahit sobrang hirap. Okay lang mga ganong update. Hindi rin ako makapaniwala na magbabago sila from yung changed game talaga. Kasi, kakaano lang nila eh. Kaka-update lang nila nung bagong patch, diba? So, parang hirap. Ewan ko. Bahala sila. Kasi ayoko nung parang Dragonist na mobile. Nalaro nyo ba yun? Yung kailangan mo talagang i-micro yung character mo. Sana wag. May timing, ganun. Sana turn-based pa din. Yan, parang ganun. Turn-based, may auto. Kala ko tapos na eh. Tapos na ako mag-gun. 5 seconds. Bilang na naman. Uy, sasamat. Naku, wag po. Huwag yung gawing 3D, guys. Oh my god, 3D na. Hindi na yan eh. Okay lang, basta wag yung pinaka pipe nung laro, yung pwede mong iwan. No, pinag-ready na nila. Ba na yung effects niya eh. Elusia. Bakit siya? Diba Artamiel dapat? Wow. Ba't di na kasi awakening yan? Warma. Tapos. Uy! Yun, maganda. Uy, wow. Kasamang crew. Team up. Binulag eh. Ayun na, second awakening. Sana ganun, no? Parang berserk mode. Ay, hindi. Pinaps lang. TOA. Oh, yun ah. Uy, wow. Sana all may LND. Ay, hindi. TOA pala yan. Forma. Uy. Alright. O, kainin mo na. Dibitin. Iti-trading nga nila yan. Halata naman sa pinapakita na nila. Okay lang naman, basta ganun pa din. Kung paano siya nilalaro. Sana hindi magbago ng gusto. Yun, ang binigay yun. Sa'yo na daw, wala kasing rune. Hayop ka. Boom. Yun, second awaken yun. Uy. Panalo. Yun, may bagong monster. Please, huwag niyong baguhin, please. Sana ganun pa rin. Dagdag lang kayo ng dungeon. Ganun, pwede na yan.
2020년
Stage, Kim Tae-young, the head developer of Summoner's War. He's back to talk to us a little bit about the upcoming massive update to Summoner's War.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to see what the shift is all about. You guys have been waiting at home and curiously creating theories. This is it. You're gonna find out if Miho's getting that third.
If Miho's getting the third awakening,
Mga ungas. Lalo walang maglalaro yan. Biho na lahat.
Kevin said, Tae-young Kim is the head developer of the game. This is an amazing moment for all of us to take this look inside the mind behind Summoner's War.
here we go. He's going to be presenting to us all the details about the update. Right now, he's introducing himself. This is Mr. Kim Tae-young. Again, the head developer of Summoner's War.
Directly from Korea.
This is it, baby! This
I'm
is
very
it!
excited.
Alright, guys, get stoked. This is what we've been waiting for.
So leading up to this update, normally we see that the game has so many settings, right, Evan? It's such a diverse game. Some people like farming, some people like the PvE aspect of it, the arena, the guild content,
And people play
RTA.
it from all over the world. We saw so many countries listed in the chat earlier today, and now he's talking about the specifics of our current circumstances right now that we can still come together over a mobile game. And that's absolutely incredible. And a mobile game that just hit its 6th year anniversary.
And he's saying that they worked really hard for this update this year. Is the biggest so far. A lot of changes coming, and he hopes that everyone enjoys what will be unveiled here tonight.
And now he's talking about the circumstances right now with COVID-19. He's hoping and praying for everybody's safety and health during this time. And he's talking once again about that concept that we talked about earlier with the head of development of Summoner's War, that intrinsic fun element of Summoner's War.
And for the people in Brazil, I'm gonna speak a little bit of Portuguese. Ele tá falando sobre a diversão, que para eles é o momento principal agora do jogo para perseguir isso daí. E sempre foi tentar trazer essa diversão para os jogadores, que foi o foco dos desenvolvedores. E nesse momento é uma diversão variada. A gente tem a RTA, tem o farm, tem a arena, tem a parte de summonar e colecionar monstros. Então tem muitas áreas. Eles tentam trazer uma parte de diversão estratégica nova para o jogo. Esse foi o objetivo dessa atualização.
Thank you very much. And now he's going through everything, and he's saying again, the fun, one of the aspects of fun in Summoner's War is taking all of these monsters that you've built up a relationship with, that you've brought from the very moment they came out of a scroll all the way up to being 6-starred and being a part of your team. He's talking about utilizing them strategically. This is something that you're going to see brought up a few different times during this presentation.
Y en español, como vemos, está enseñando todas las partes del juego, que es una variedad. La diversión siempre fue el foco de nuestro juego y hacerlo de forma variada, y para eso traemos una nueva cosa con esta actualización.
And he's once again just touching on that same idea. He's saying that is where they came from when they're looking at how to bring about a new update to Summoner's War. They're looking at things like the Dimension Hole. They're looking at things like Kairos Dungeon, and they're saying these are the areas that people love and people have a lot of fun in. So this is how we're going to bring the update to Summoner's War.
And the update being focused on those 2 new places, you guys already get a hint. We're gonna have 3 new dungeons. Not 1, not 2, not 3. And as you guys guessed right, Masmorra de Praia.
Masmorra de
Yeah, dude.
No beach transmog dungeon.
No.
That's not one of the 3. But there are going to be 3 new dungeons, and he's saying let's go ahead and start with the one in the dimension hole.
Yes.
And this is the new boss of the dimension hole, and with it comes a massive change to the way that you traditionally play.
Because normally on the dimension hole, we're geared towards thinking this is going to be a second awakening.
Or this is going to be ancient runes, like specifically. I'm going to be farming this dungeon a lot, trying to get ancient runes from it.
And something repeatedly that sometimes
Kaya
might be the
lizard
same
man.
that it's happening already in Kairos. But
magamit-gamit
observing
naman
that, our devs decided to take a different approach, a different path in this situation.
So instead, it's going to be a monthly dimension dungeon. This is going to be something that you can only tackle once. You can only beat it once. It's going to pop up at different points every time you come to it throughout different months. The Dimension Predator is, I think, the working title for it.
Yes.
And here we go. So here's an animation of what it looks like.
Oh my god. And looking at this already gives me the chills, Evans, because
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
it looks like it.
So what they just
Elemental?
demonstrated are
Anong
some of its
kumun?
attacking.
Elemental?
The way that
Mukhang
you're
morphling.
going to tackle this boss. So again, this is a monthly dungeon. This is something that you can tackle
Monthly
once every
dungeon.
month when it comes out.
Yeah, so he goes roaming around the dimensions and stealing magical energy from each of these dimensions.
You know, I'm into that.
You know, I'm into
Parang
that.
POA nga.
Yeah.
Monthly
So,
dungeon eh.
we think that tactics will change because of that. Being in different dimensions will create spark that crafting, that ideation
Ayos yan.
about teams,
Basta
about
may reward.
strategies to
Ayos yan.
beat this incredible, unique boss.
And you guys know that there's already rules in place inside of the dimension hole, and this boss is no different. This is something that he's going to be touching on in a second. This is what he's talking about. I don't know if you guys were here for the Tartarus Labyrinth presentation a few years back. That was back when the dimension hole was just an idea. Like,
Oh, hindi pa ako tapos dyan. Hindi ko maka-hard hell dyan sa Tartarus.
Homunculi were introduced. And so he's saying a big part of this is going to be that it's going to be a difficult dungeon that focuses on strategic use of your monsters, and you're going to have to go about this and navigate through his difficult assortment of skills.
And he's talking about how when 2 years ago he beat the lab boss, he got so excited, extremely excited, more than he should. He's even saying,
Yeah, like more excited than, and he's like, why was that? And he says it's because the battle was fun.
and also he thinks is because the rewards were really good.
Yeah, the rewards back then were
Yes.
really, really good, and so they wanted to think about how can we make these rewards really, really good.
Because if it takes a long period of time, and if you have to play it manually, you should be rewarded well.
Right.
It's something that it's taking a lot from you.
Yeah, and as where I'm coming from, I love TOA. TOA is one of my favorite contents in the game. You have to go about it as if each step of the way is a puzzle. And so he's kind of getting that idea back again and just reinvigorating it, and he's taking it back, making it new, and that made this new monthly dungeon. Mm-hmm. Overcoming a crisis. That's a great way to describe it. That's a great way to describe it.
And for him, going through those challenges and putting that all together kind of makes the fun of playing it manually. Because remember, guys, if you have to do something very repeated, very mechanical, like farming the Kairos dungeon.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do, and I
Exactly.
don't. And so, like, what he's saying is, here's something you can do that doesn't require a lot of stress because it's only once a month. You do it manually, and you come back in, you think about your team, you think about the way that you're using your skills, kind of like akin to what
Yeah,
you do
na
in
high
RTA.
level. Okay
And
lang,
so
okay lang
he's
sa akin.
thinking, like,
Kahit
if we
sobrang
do this
hirap.
once a month, that's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's not a farming
my
idea.
stats.
It's not farming.
Ay, hindi.
And this is something that's absolutely crucial to think about.
Yeah.
They want a high level of difficulty, but they don't want to limit who can come into the dungeon.
Yeah, so the stats, the requirements, the rune requirements to come into this won't be.
They're very
they will be low. So
Ah.
for the dimension hole,
Hindi kailangan ng
unfortunately, one of
mataas
the
na rune.
biggest, if not the biggest challenge,
Kailangan ng
was
magandang
that maybe
lineup,
newer
yung
players couldn't join
peaking
and tackle right
lumalabas.
away the hardest stages, the level 5.
Ibig sabihin
And
yung
that
mga
created
yung
a
mga
mindset
yung mga
for them
balyena
to think,
mag-load.
If someone just joined some
Hindi
of the
ay epekto
and they
dito.
don't have very good runes, they should be able to enjoy a
Revives
big
the dead
challenge, a
ally with
strategical
100%
challenge that will
when
make them
gaining a
learn
turn.
more about the game and more about the monsters.
And I think that that's apt. They'll definitely learn more about the way their monsters interact with each other and the world around them through this dungeon.
Yeah,
so
ano
here's what
nila
he's
to.
talking about now. He's talking about the
Ibabalanse
mid-bosses
nila kasi nga
inside this
masyadong
dungeon
malalakas
and
nga
how
kasi
they
yung
have
mga
skills
malalakas
such as
maglulog.
revives the
Pati
dead
yung
ally
mga
with
ano kasi
100%
wala nang
HP
kwenta sa
when
kanila
gaining
eh.
a turn. So that's emphasizing you need
PvE.
to control these guys. What does that say? I need to reduce their attack bar. If I can
And
stun
that's a
them, I need
passive.
to.
That's a passive, yeah.
That's going to proc. They don't have to use that. That's if I get a turn. I don't have to choose. I don't have to use my turn.
Yeah,
to do
so
it.
you have to kill both
So
of them to
dumadami
clear
siya.
the stage.
Right.
Because if you kill one, he'll revive the other one, and vice versa.
Yeah, dude, they're like a corrupted version of the twins.
But what I
Ayun.
think right now is
Kaya kahit
with
mataas yung
Cesario
rune na
is-
gamitin
is
mo.
our beautiful Oblivion
Can we
working
Oblivion
against
him?
this. That's
Can we
what
Oblivion him?
makes me
Stats
think.
modified. Akala ko,
Lord.
matik na
They're
bababa
also
yung
going to be
stats mo.
modifying. How do they make it so that newer players can enter in? The answer is modifying the stats when they come in. And that's what he's talking about right now. He's showing this on screen. This is a new
Yun,
player's
sabi
account.
na
They
eh.
don't have a lot going on. As
Kaya
far
kahit
as-
mataas yung rune na dala
And
mo,
they see a whole bunch of different players throughout. It's been around for 6 years. We saw a lot of people in chat saying that they've been playing for 5. But somebody might have just downloaded the game yesterday.
A lot of people joined with the 6-year anniversary now.
Right.
We had a lot of net fives being given out, so we have a lot of new players, and they wanted to give something to these people that are joining now. So if you have modified stats that let you battle without these super high requirements, you kind of throw a huge net that gathers everyone. All users, all players can participate in this type of content.
Yes. So this isn't just limited to the people at the top tier of Summoners War RTA ladder. That's not what this is about. This is for
Exactly.
everybody. So when you go into that dungeon, your basic stats of all of your monsters are going to be increased by 10 times.
parang sobrang taas nun.
So the runes are gonna be 10 times less important,
Yeah.
or more, right? So the gap will diminish. Look at that.
So this is the difference between this is the difference of like runes, right? So that's what this is.
Let's see a newer
we got two
player
Lucians here.
and an older player with like
63%
90,
crit rate. That looks like my
That
Lucian.
looks like your Lucian. The right one looks like mine. So we can see that big difference. That is like 500 attack, super high crit rate. But this is the total.
Right.
Once you increase the base stat to something really high, that 500 difference will become something kind of negligible.
Right, exactly. And the runes are powered up to plus 15, he says. I don't believe this is 10. This is not 10 times. If you
Not
look
yet,
at
not
it,
yet.
guys,
He's just
check this
showing the
out.
difference.
Boom, there we go. That's 10 times.
Yeah.
So now this is what we're looking at.
Look
So
at
when
that
you go-
difference.
This is the difference.
The difference is super small because 500 now compared to 9,000, it's not a big difference.
And if you're I just want to reiterate, this is just for the monthly dungeon. This is something that was done to make it so that all players can enjoy this.
Yeah, and now in Portuguese, some people asking in chat,
for it.
vai ter aumento de 10 vezes dos status somente para esse chefão, que vai ser um chefão mensal, que vai ter umas recompensas muito boas, porque é
Ganun
uma
ang
coisa
ginawa
que
nila
vai ser
modification.
necessária.
Hindi hihina yung rune,
Eles
pero times 10
decidiram
lahat ng total.
que isso daqui fosse para todos os jogadores.
And
pra
kapag
todo mundo.
kinumpute mo yun,
Se
hindi
você
na
é novo
ganun
no
kalaki.
jogo e você não tem umas runas muito
Or hindi na
boas,
ganun
os status
kalayo
básicos
yung
vão ser muito
pinagkaiba
altos,
ng
você vai
pangit na
poder
rune
notar
sa
que a
magandang
diferença pra
rune.
jogador late game
Kasi
vai
nga
ser
ang kapal
muito
na
grande.
nung stat.
E em espanhol,
Pwede din.
decidieron cambiar dentro de este, nada más que es una vez por mes, este nuevo jefe que te dará unos premios muy buenos para que los estatus básicos de tus monstruos sean 10 veces mayores de lo que son normalmente en el juego, haciendo con que jugadores nuevos puedan entrar y participar sin tener una gran diferencia para los jugadores que están ahí hace muchísimo tiempo.
And now, so we've talked about what
Predator
happens with
pala
stats
to
when
eh.
you enter into this dungeon, and what's amazing about this content for me is that because new players can enter it too, as well as late game players, everybody is going to get to benefit from these incredible rewards that are going to come from. Right now, he's describing that you clear it once per month, and every month it's going to jump between a different dimension inside the dimension hole. It's only open for 30 days, and you can clear it only once. Now that's where you start to think, you can only do it once, so what kind of rewards am I going to get from
Exactly. And the first one will be in Karzam. Before we go into those details, I always wanted to give a huge shout out to one of our favorite streamers, Kachugo. Feliz cumpleaños.
Hey!
Tamo en vivo.
Tamo
It's his
en
birthday
vivo.
today, guys. So can you
Isang
chat
legend.
put Kachu and a little heart for
Isang
him
legend.
spending his birthday
Self-pick.
with us.
Oh, dude.
Right
Ay,
here between the
self-choosing ng
60
type.
influencers. So I wanted a lot of love for him in chat. Tamo
Happy
en vivo.
birthday, Kachu!
Yeah.
What's up, Play Zero Rage? I just shouted it. He wanted a shout out.
And talking about the rewards, Evan, what is
Rewards
the best
na, pre.
reward you can get in the game? You love monsters, you love Nat 5s, but I love
that's not-
something
Rune,
else.
rune,
What
rune,
is the
rune.
best? What I
Rune,
love
rune,
the
rune.
Legendary runes. 6-star legendary runes.
Parehas kami,
Legendary
parehas
runes
kami.
are best,
Legendary roots.
If If
Per
I
month
could
lang,
send
di ba?
you
Per
the
month
key
lang.
to
Isang
that,
legendary runes,
for
pre.
me, that would be
Pwede na
the
yun.
best
And it's
prize you
and
could
it's
get.
secretly the best thing for players of all ranges of skills and time in the game. If you're new to the game, a 6-star legend rune is going to be amazing. An
Ancient, pre.
rune is even better. Now here's
Ala,
the best
lakas
part. When you
nun.
beat the monthly dungeon, you are going to get to choose from a pool of 6-star legendary ancient runes with fixed main stats and sub properties, and you get to choose one out of the 5 presented. So you get to find the one.
The rune that you need.
Sarap
The rune
nun.
that you need. That will rune for your slot
Nice
5
yun.
and Ciara that has everything that you're looking for.
And he just said
that's what you got.
Ayos, ayos
It's
yun.
fixed. It's fixed. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some high quality runes, and like Evan said, legendary, ancient. So even higher, more stats for your monsters.
that.
Look at an example popping out. I see. Oh my God.
Okay,
I'm
and it looks
trembling.
like, so we see speed slot 2, we see attack, we see HP, and these are going to be the ones. He's saying that this is going to be the rune pool.
Sana, ganyan.
If I'm not mistaken.
Lagi naman kayo plat, puro ganun.
Depending on each one of the dimensions,
Ganyan okay yan, talaga
runes that are in
matutuwa
that
ka.
dimension. So,
Madalas
in 2 of the 3
pinapakita
that
ninyo,
we have
puro
right now,
plat eh.
You can get will runes.
Yeah, you can get.
So we're gonna
will,
get one
rage,
option
like,
for
this
that
is
will rune.
amazing. Yeah, look at that. I see a blade rune. Hey, some crit rate would be nice for my account. Holy, that rage rune! I saw somebody say in chat. Let me see.
Yep.
Where's the? I can't make out the. Oh, there it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That rage rune. That all of them, to be honest.
That resist, I don't know. I'm worried.
And he's talking right
I want,
now.
I want the HP one.
But that's not.
Ano
it.
yan?
That is
Meron
an
pa?
extra.
Mga drop yan.
That's not just a once a month thing. So they're gonna give you the rune,
Drop.
but also there's some of these rewards in there too. You're gonna get grinds. You're gonna
A
get
lot of
gems,
people were
you're
asking
gonna
about
get
that,
materials.
about grinds and gems, ancient. They were saying
Ancient
it's too
crafting.
hard. It's too hard to get them. Now you have another way to get them in the monthly dungeon. That's another great, great reward. Imagine something that it's so hard to get. Now you can get it.
So let me just wrap up everything that he just went over. It's very difficult.
May sabihin
You're gonna
Spectrum.
probably have to take it once a month, goes through all the different dimensions monthly. Wide user spectrum, by which he means people of all skill levels can access this because you're going to have your stats
Walang-
boosted. You can
oo.
clear once per month and get these amazing rewards. And it makes a fun and interesting manual.
Walang auto. Tanggalin nyo na yung auto.
They're
Okay lang.
tackling all aspects of fun. And we told you that there's 3 dungeons that are new. That was 1.
That's only one, guys.
Now I'm getting
Oo
chills.
nga,
We're
isa
gonna
pa lang
shift
yun.
over to Kairos. This is where we spend a lot
Shit!
of our time as players of Summoner.
Pero so far nagugustuhan ko yung update nila.
Glad we only have to do it once per month because I like farming.
Uy,
Look at those bosses.
Here we
Evan.
go, guys.
And let me see
Punisher,
in chat
Steel
before we say
Fortress.
anything. Can you guess
What are the elements?
the elements of these bosses? Because we have the Steel Fortress and the Punisher's Crypt coming on. Can you guess?
baby.
Dark and light? No, you're wrong. You
Ayaw,
guys, let me
tama,
see,
dark
someone
and
got
light.
it.
Yeah,
Wind and light.
We are
Remember, the giant is water. The dragon is fire. The Necro Lich King is dark. So now we got the fire.
we're rounding out the color pie here.
We have the
all
pie.
five.
Oo nga no, tama. Wala
This is
pang
it.
wind
So
tsaka
here's an
light.
example of what it looks like, and he's talking about the design of the monster. This is the Steel Fortress. This is pretty incredible.
Windy. So prepare your fire units, prepare your wind units, put your water ones away.
Panis
Because
yan.
it looks amazing. And now, I think this is my personal favorite. This is my personal favorite boss. It's just a light boss. It's incredible. Look at the animations, the background. This
Forma,
looks
no?
extremely tough. Look at these AoE attacks. Ugh. I hope it's
Beautiful
very hard,
animations.
very tough to deal with.
네, 영상 재미있어 보이셨나 모르겠는데요.
Forma.
That was a showcase of the 2 brand new bosses coming to Kairos. What do you guys think? Do you like them?
Yeah, if you love them, let me see some
Yeah.
art in chat. We're kind of curious to hear that from you.
Yeah, that's
We can see this art with the ragdoll. Is that a lapis? And who's the? Oh, and we have like a wind boomerang
yeah.
over there.
So he's saying right now that you're going to notice that the design of these guys is a little bit different. He's got armor, and both of them are coming from this concept of sort of an ancient weapon that's been asleep for ages, and it's just woken up, and it's part of this ancient civilization. You've accidentally woken up one of these weapons that they had back then.
He has this look of a merciless judge.
I love it, dude.
It's
For the
gonna go
Punisher's
over
Crypt.
you.
Yeah, he doesn't care what monster.
What are you doing here? Dungeons, and for you to build new teams that you can repeatedly farm in these situations. and clear the floors with high efficiency, like 100% of the time, and get these rewards.
This is my favorite part of Summoner's War. He's suggesting studying with people together online, trying to come up with new teams, theory crafting for these guys. Now let's talk about the rewards. This would be another time to bring up the question, what runes?
What runes? People said, what runes? What is your guess? I would say that the answer is not runes.
I would say that it's not runes at all. It is
lalagyan nila ng
something
grindstone.
different, something different, something that's going to fundamentally change the way that your monsters
What are
act.
those? What are those?
What are
Ano yan?
yeah, one
I don't know what that
Where
is.
in the
Can
world-
someone guess?
Artifacts. That's the answer. New artifacts.
Ano yan?
He's going to
Parang
be discussing
kinakabit
these
yan.
in detail, but this is one of my favorite parts of the update. If I'm
Yeah.
being totally honest. This is so. Here's what we're talking about. Here's Lucian. Here's the boss. He's going to be our test subject for today. You think if you associate Lucian, what is Lucian? What do you guys associate Lucian with? It's ignore defense. Lucian ignores defense. He's showing Huahi right now. He's saying healing,
Yes.
and everything like that. He was saying if Lucian's amputation magic dealt more damage, he could clear the dungeon a little bit faster. He was saying, I'd like for these monsters' individual skills to be better. Rakan, if I could deal more damage to counterattacking
Or
people,
counterattacking more.
yes, or counterattacking
Many
more.
Many different ways.
These are
Ay
things that he
pucha,
likes to see.
upgrade ng
What I
skill.
love about this, Evan, and what he's saying is that bringing in a new way, like the artifacts,
Mag-a-upgrade yung skill pa
different
niyan.
parts of the monsters, not only stats that might bring monsters that are not used a lot.
Plus sa
to life.
skill yun.
So these
Promise.
monsters that have interesting abilities, but sometimes their stats are not that high, and they need a little bit of help on their skill set. Like you can see by this
Here it
HP
is.
artifact example, they can become new beasts in many parts of the game of
So
Summoner's War.
substats are completely different for artifacts. We're not talking stats. Yes, they're going to have a flat stat at the top. It's not
Only
going to
flat.
only flat at the top, but their
Okay.
substats will be unique for the type of monster they're meant to fill. For instance,
And for the elements.
And for the elements. So you might have seen up there, it gave a percentage of life drain on there.
Yes.
You're going to see things
They
like
gave a second skill.
Ang gulo nun. Dahil pwede mangyari doon.
or I'm sorry, ignore defense skills get more damage. This is
More damage out of counterattack. So imagine monsters like Ursha, the second awakening
Oo,
of the
gagi.
fire
Yung mga
band,
lifesteal, ang
can
lakas
be
dun.
super strong now with the right artifacts in mind. So a fire artifact on one side and then an artifact that goes by the type of the monster on the other side. Let's see, Lucian's an attack type of monster. He gets
he
an
gets
attack
an attack. He's
artifact.
wind. He gets wind. You know,
Exactly.
it's like that's what it is. So here's how your new rune screen is going to look. Artifacts don't fit into the regular rune wheel. Instead, they go on either side.
Yeah. E, explicando pro pessoal no Brasil, os artefatos
Dalawa.
eles são completamente diferentes das runas. Eles vão ter somente stats flats. Vai ter um artefato de elemento e um artefato que vai ser do tipo do monstro. Então, por exemplo, Lucian um artefato de ataque e um artefato de vento. E com esses artefatos, você não tem substats como os outros. São substats diferentes. Tem substats que aumentam o dano de certas habilidades.
combo din
que aumentam
per
o
set
dano
ng
de
artefato.
counter-ataque, que aumentam a quantidade de heal que você dá, diferentes outras maneiras de habilidades que você é afetado.
And here, people are asking in chat. Let me answer that question for you. Yes, you get two. You get one based on the attribute of your monster, the element of your monster. The other one is based on what kind of are they an attack monster?
Are they
an HP?
defense? Are
Yeah,
they support?
exactly.
Exactly.
Element and attribute. Yes, exactly.
And in Spanish, so people understand,
Please.
tenemos dos tipos de artefactos. Uno que será por el elemento, o sea, luz, oscuridad, fuego, agua y viento. Y otro artefacto que es por el tipo de monstruo, un monstruo de ataque, un monstruo de defensa. Y esos substatos van a darte que mejoren no solo tus habilidades, pero cosas específicas como la segunda habilidad de un monstruo, el contraataque, el daño de ignorar defensa, el heal, etc.
So
Go back.
here's an example here. Lucia, support type and water attribute. She can have a water attribute artifact and then the support type artifact as well on top of it. Here's another example. So we got damage received under inability effects is -3%.
Reduced,
It's
Evan.
reduced. Damage dealt by counterattack +3. Increased second skill crit damage.
Yeah. This helps against the Nefties.
Right.
You reduce the damage when you're under a death break, for example. Oh no,
Yes.
sorry. In this case, it's inability. So only under stun, sleep, and freeze.
Right.
My bad.
And I want to
Yeah.
re-emphasize for people, the main property is going to be flat. This isn't going to be something that's going to replace runes as far as stats. This is something where you want to look, it's like, I want Lucian to deal more damage on his third skill, and I want more ignore defense damage. That's what you're going to be looking
And it's
for.
based on the type of artifact. So if it's an HP artifact, it'll be HP increase. If it's an attack artifact, it'll be flat attack. If it's a defense artifact, flat defense.
And people in chat asking, how do you power them up? Same way as you would. They're not trying to change the fundamental way that you think about interacting with the equipment of your monsters. They're trying to think about the way you interact with your monsters in general.
And people are saying too low, but it increases, guys. So it's similar to a rune. So it has the +3, +6, +9.
This isn't plus.
+12.
This isn't plus.
Yeah, that's the basic one.
The other thing I want to point out, there's no star rating. It's just rarity. There's no star rating on this.
There's
set.
no 1-star artifact, 2-star. All artifacts are the same, and you can power them up.
Right. It's only going to be based on rarity. So yeah, you can find legend ones, but you're not going to find a 6-star legend one, 5-star. It's going to be legend, hero, rare, etc. And he's going over some of the sub properties. You can have up to 4, and you power them up as you would a rune.
옵션은 저희는
Yeah, this is, and you guys think this is good.
Yeah, who loves this? I want to
guys-
see from chat. Who loves this?
guys
Let
think-
me see those hearts in chat. Because I love it. I'm extremely excited. And how he's saying right now, showing that the damage dealt by counterattack can be increased. The defense, so monsters that deal damage based on defense can get that damage increased. Let's see a bulldozer, a copper,
Oh, people are loving it.
Tyrannus, Belladul. Thank you for the
Increased
hats.
attack bar when revived. Like that's something that you can
Wait.
base your team.
Perna's coming back, baby.
Perna, baby.
Perna
Wait a
coming
second.
back.
That's dope. Actually.
Ayunu coming back,
That's
baby.
so good.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And also damage per specific attributes. So this will bring a lot of monsters that sometimes are not that used to become used,
It's gonna
which
bring
is
them
my
into the
favorite
spotlight.
thing.
Yes, because like now you can look at some of your monsters and be like, hey, this would be really good if this third skill dealt some more damage.
Imagine a monster that sometimes had a really cool skill set, but it doesn't heal enough. You say, oh, it's not enough, but now you equip it with an increase in that healing. Or some monsters that have low chance of landing debuffs, and you increase the accuracy of that specific skill. And now you have a chance to land that sleep more, to land that strip, that death break. It will open up a limited
And I want to
possibilities.
touch on something that he just said as well. They're considering additional kinds of stats. Somebody in chat mentioned accuracy on Hathor. They're considering more accuracy effects on substats. So what you're seeing here isn't necessarily the end of all the substats. This is going to be a wave. And so you're probably already thinking about who you can use this on. I know I am. This is going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
This is going to be pretty big.
So damage dealt by
Hey, it's Miho!
counterattack.
Hey!
Get ready, baby.
Woo!
Because
Is this 3A?
she's gonna. It's basically she's gonna deal a lot of
The
damage.
third A stands for artifact. That's what it is.
The image, like we said, showing copper and bulldozer. Tyrannus gonna get in too, so I'm very happy about that. My Amelia is gonna be killer.
That's true. Yes. But remember, for all these, it's like people talking about like increased damage from counterattacks. There's also other things. It's like you can talk about damage reduction effects.
Exactly, guys.
So there's
gonna be counters to it too. Don't think that Miho is gonna be all powerful right now. Remember, if you increase damage of some skills, basically, you won't need to put that monster on crit damage necessarily. So in that way, you don't need crit rate and you counter Miho. So there's
Exactly.
1,000. This was gonna change the way that certain monsters are built. A monster that sometimes you would build on crit damage and crit rate, because of the multiplier of the skill being so high and getting extra damage right now, you'll build them on attack. Because
Exactly.
you'll get extra damage with attack.
And right now he's talking about how artifacts and these two new dungeons bring together that fun of farming and the strategic fun. So you're not
Gusto
only
talaga nila
thinking
alisin yung
about the
crit
dungeon,
rate
you're thinking
type.
about how these rewards
Yung kasi yung dating
can go
meta
back
eh.
to your team.
Speed crit rate.
And so the
Tsaka yung
update-
clip
so
yun.
he's saying that the
Gusto
update
nila ang
briefing
balansehin yun.
is almost finished at this time. He's finishing up talking about the strategic fun, and now he's talking about a few more changes.
This is
This is the end of the brand new bosses, but now we're talking about some things that are also going to change Summoner's
Dami.
Can I tell you that this is why this
Nahihirapan na akong
This is-
why
sink
this is
in
my
lahat.
favorite change.
Yes.
We fought a lot. We fought
Yeah,
a lot
this is-
for
this
this.
is gonna be
and
pretty cool.
Our developers show that they hear you guys.
That's
they
right.
love you guys. So this is a big moment.
And
for
so
us.
what they're thinking about is all this new stuff could potentially add some stress to new players. I mean, we're talking about 2 new dungeons you need to farm. We're talking about a brand new monthly dungeon. Is this going to be too much like of the idea of like farming to try to get those runes you need, to try to get the artifacts you need?
And sometimes you don't get them. You
And-
know, people dealing with the player's frustration.
Naku, yan lang yung auto. Auto in background.
And
Running
to have
in
fun is
background
also
yan.
knowing
Tignan mo.
The game has to be challenging.
Rune
It can't
farming
be too
improvement,
easy, but
yan
also
na!
dealing with the frustration. So they decided to improve
Consecutive
the rune
auto.
farming, and they're gonna talk about consecutive autoplay.
Paano sa mga nagfe-fail? Paano sa mga weak
So
pa?
it seems like they might be missing a page of what we were talking about right now. He's just going to speak about this. There might not be some images to guide you, so we'll tell you what he's talking about on the phone.
Hirap nun.
He's saying that they've brought up a couple things. This is it. We're gonna get
설명을 드리자.
B12, baby.
B12.
We're
on
talking
the dungeons,
B12 on GB10, DB10,
but that's not all.
and FB10. But that's not everything.
The rune drop rates will be increased.
Yun!
And
Accordingly.
not
Buti
only
naman.
increased, but on
Busan ka
that
lang.
B12.
If you're on B12, you will only get 6-star runes for completing it.
Yes.
Only 6-star runes of
No
rare
chance of
or
getting
higher.
5.
Of rare or higher will be
Nice
dropped on
one,
B12.
Pri,
No,
nice
this is for GB10. This is for, I can't even say that anymore.
Yeah.
This is for Giants, Dragons, and Necro.
Tayo na sa
And
wakas.
This is the big
This is,
kahuna.
oh, this is,
The
yeah.
6-star legendary runes drop rate will be 2.5 times increased.
Yeah.
So you guys have the chance to farm those B12s, get 6-star runes all the time, and get more legend runes. So you can
2.5
Yeah.
times, not 2.5, 2.5
times,
times the
not
current.
percent.
Nako, kawawa yung mga loader. Iiyak yun.
This shouldn't
Lugi
be
sila.
overlooked. Giants, Dragons, and Necro will all be changed to be the same element throughout.
Lugi
This
yung
is
mga
actually changed
malalakas
to be
mag-load.
This will be
Pinaghirapan nila yung
helpful. Evan,
ano
people
nila
looking
doon.
to build different teams.
Mga roots
They know
nila.
the Giants will be all the way water. They train
All
for
the way,
that.
yes.
Dragons all the way fire. Necro all the way dark. So this is incredible for new players. And right now, just really quickly for Portuguese.
Sarap, ang sarap ng update.
Uh,
panalo ang pagising na maaga.
This is important. So this is from the developer straight. They're going to address autoplay right now. So first of all, I just want to premise they have concerns about autoplay. They've heard a lot about the issue. That's what he said
Yan,
right now. He
pucha.
says that they've heard a lot about the idea that the community really wants consecutive autoplay. And now they're having a heated internal discussion for a long time. So they've been
It's
going.
been. We've been reporting
we've been
this for a
talk-
really
I know,
long
we've been
time.
talking
We've been
to them
talking to them. They've been talking internally. It's a game that's been on for 6 years and it's very successful. And you
Right.
should be afraid of big changes like this.
And,
for
and
sure.
Andy's also talking about
Madali lang yun sa
more
100%
being introduced, and so
success
farming is
rate.
going to be increased.
Medyo
And so
magulo yun
they've
kapag
been going back
nagfe-fail
and
pa
forth.
yung run.
Now they've decided that it's a positive time for considering autoplay. This update, let me be clear. This autoplay feature will not be added in the massive update. However, they're now thinking
They're working.
We've added 2 new dungeons. We've added B12. So it's like now is the time to start actually talking about it, seeing if we can make a way. What they want to do is not use the traditional idea of just, oh, I'm going to hit autoplay and I'm going to set it down and I'm going to go to sleep. They don't want to do something like that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to see if they can find a way to find, his exact words, we want to find meaningful actions that'll make it so that you don't get less engaged with the
You don't
game.
disconnect from the game. That's
Yeah.
because if you just put the game aside and just put autoplay and then you lose completely connection and you forget about the game. It's completely
This is good
different.
news.
It's a shift from one thing to the other.
This is
so
good
that's
news.
completely
So,
Because
sinabi lang nila
I just want to
Yeah.
reiterate
na
what Seppi just said.
ginagawa na nila ng paraan?
Previously,
Ganun lang
it
ba
was a
yun?
hard no.
Pero hindi
The
pa
fact that
nila-
they're bringing it up here is pretty amazing. So I just want to throw that out there. It's not a bad thing. This is only good news. They're considering it.
Yeah. And let me explain
binalita
real
lang,
quick,
pero wala silang ginawa.
Sobre os novos chefões, galera. E esses
Okay
chefões
lang.
agora, a mudança principal é no gigante.
Medyo marami na silang ginawa. Medyo nahilo-hilo na rin ako. Mamaya re-reviewin ko lahat to.
TOA gives you scrolls, TOA gives you crystals.
It does. It gives you everything.
But yeah.
Hello, this is Mark, Summoners War YouTuber and streamer.
Ici Wendy, streamer Summoners War.
Ciao a tutti ragazzi, sono Federico di Italian Summoner Sword, streamer e caster ufficiale.
Приветствую всех, это Аргентум, я стример из России.
So first of all, congratulations to Summoners War on their 6th anniversary.
Summoners War a vraiment littéralement changé ma vie puisque je suis passé d'un métier standard à influenceur grâce au jeu notamment.
We're all currently celebrating your game's 6-year anniversary and I just want to congratulate you guys on that one.
Et surtout, la communauté est incroyable, les events ont été fous, on a vécu des choses notamment incroyables en 2019.
À côté, donc Summoners War, je tenais encore à te dire félicitations pour tes 6 ans.
Congratulazioni Summoners War per il tuo 6º anniversario.
Félicitations pour tes 6 ans, Summoners War.
I just want to congratulate you guys on your 6-year anniversary, alright? Bye.
Cumpleaños feliz. Happy birthday, Summoners War.
Congratulate Summoners War on their 6-year anniversary.
Happy 6th anniversary, Summoners War.
Congratulate Summoners War on their 6-year anniversary.
And thank you, Summoners War, for all the great battles in RTA.
I love the gameplay, I love the art design, and I love to summon and summon and summon and summon.
Thank you for giving me this. I love it.
Beyond summoning, the community and the friends that I've made through streaming, through going to meetups has just been really, really honestly impactful.
One of my favorite memories with Summoners War has got to be Mobile Masters back in 2017. Since then, Summoners War has done so much more, from all the SWC tournaments to the amazing meetups and events all over the world.
Since then, a lot of these people became my best friends actually, which I connected through Summoners War.
I've met so many people with the same passion playing this game that it's honestly been amazing.
I just want to say that I'm so thankful to have joined this amazing community.
Espero que sigan creciendo, se merecen todo lo que les está pasando, el éxito, los torneos, la cantidad de gente que sigue el juego, y de verdad estoy agradecida, así que pasen un increíble cumpleaños, un beso y nos vemos en stream.
Cannot wait for more years of Summoners War and meeting and hanging out with people and playing this game.
The last 6 years have been an absolutely amazing journey, and I can't wait to see what's in store. Happy 6-year anniversary, and here's to another year.
Thank you so much for all the great memories and friends that I've made through Summoners War. I love you, Summoners War.
Congratulations, Summoners War, on 6 years, and I hope to see many more.
Let's keep summoning.
皆さんこんにちは、井上正弘です。
召喚師の皆様こんにちは。サマな番組 MC をさせてもらってます百花繚乱です。
あゆみなこと竹内あゆみです。召喚師の皆さんこんにちは。コスプレ占い師の小山田渚です。
こんにちは、サマナーズ王インフルエンサーの翔太です。
こんなにハマれる作品と出会えて本当に幸せだなと思っています。サマナーズ王の魅力は続けてコツコツとやっていたことが後で必ず力になっているってところがすごく魅力だなと思っております。そしてこの先も進化し続けるサマナーズを期待しています。
僕も陰ながら応援していきたいなというふうに思います。6周年おめでとうございます。
サマナーズ王6周年おめでとうございます。
これからも7周年8周年その先ずっといろんな人たちをつないでいく素晴らしいゲームであり続けてください。
サマナーズ王6周年おめでとうございます。
6周年おめでとうございます。
안녕하세요, 소환사 여러분, 인플루언서 야삐입니다.
안녕하세요, 서머저 인플루엔서 코딩입니다.
안녕하세요, 서머너즈워 인플루언서 스킷입니다.
안녕하세요, 서머주어 인플루언서 심양호입니다. 우선 서머주어 6주년 정말 축하드립니다.
제가 14년도 비서큐 영던 때 처음 서머너즈어를 시작했는데요. 벌써 6년이라는 시간이 지났더라고요.
정말 많은 일들과 좋은 추억 그리고 좋은 사람들을 많이 만날 수 있었는데요.
제가 이렇게까지 오랫동안 플레이한 게임이 없는데 정말 서머주어는 저희 인생 게임 같습니다.
앞으로도 더 많은 그리고 더 재밌는 게임이 될 거라고 믿고 많은 분들이 저와 함께 즐겨줬으면 하는 바람이에요.
7주년, 8주년까지도 계속해서 응원해주시면 감사하겠습니다.
저도 많이 사랑해 주시고요.
서머너즈어 6주년 정말 축하드립니다.
6주년 축하해요, 서머너즈워.
Hello， 大家好，我是来自中国的玩家欧洲皇家元帅。
大家好，我係嚟自國服嘅傻老鼠。
嗨，大家好，我是来自中国的魔灵召唤玩家阿来。
Hello， 大家好，我是中国区玩家，热爱生活的云姐倩倩。
Hello， 大家好，我是中国区玩家阿绿。首先祝魔灵召唤6周年生日快乐！
魔灵召唤这款游戏呢，最吸引我的地方莫過於全球玩家實時競技和三方公會據點戰。
對於我嚟講，佢已經唔單止係一款遊戲，更多係一種特殊嘅回憶啦。因為通過呢款遊戲咧，我去咗好多地方，識咗好多朋友，而且我真係好中意Summoners War。
希望魔灵召喚呢能持久不衰，越做越好。
祝魔灵召唤生日快乐，越办越好。
祝魔灵召唤6周年生日快乐！
Hello， 大家好，我是住在非洲的魔灵之声玩家法术。
Hello， 大家好，我是大 B。
Hello， 大家好，我是美式子 Melody。
Hello， 大家好，我係嚟自香港嘅魔靈召喚直播主小林啊。
Hello， 大家好，我是魔靈召喚亞洲伺服器的培寶。
Hello， 大家好，我是台灣魔靈召喚的玩家奇哥。
哎呦，哥，你很討厭呢！來了來了 ，Hello， 大家好，我是大美。不知不覺，魔靈召喚已經6週年啦！在之後的日子裡，我跟我妹妹大美會一同出現在遊戲中，跟大家一起玩樂。
魔靈召喚6週年快樂耶！希望接落嚟會有10 週年啦。
Bani ang buti. Uy!
陪我們走過
Panalo.
10週年，或者是15週年的紀念。那最後要祝魔靈召喚6週年生日快樂哦！
希望魔靈召喚這款遊戲可以越做越久，然後越做越好。那我們在這裡再次祝魔靈召喚6週年快樂！
魔靈召喚這次6週年的活動真的非常的佛心哦，希望有更多的新朋友、舊朋友加入，跟我們一起繞一波。
首先呢，我們要恭喜我們的魔靈召喚終於來到了6週年啦！哇，真的是很不容易啊！一款好的遊戲，就是能夠經得起時間的考驗。
祝魔靈召喚6週年生日快樂！那希望
Ito yung bumalista ng ano ah. Silence ng toy.
สวัสดีครับก็ผมบิ๊กนะฮะจาก Channel โอบิ๊กแล้วก็เพจโอบิ๊กนั่นเองนะครับผมก็ยินดีกับเกม
Diyan di mo kami maloloko, pre.
ปีแล้วนั่นเองส่วนตัวผมเองเนี่ยก็ยังรอคอนเทนต์เจ๋งๆกับกิจกรรมที่น่าติดตามจากเกมอยู่นะฮะรักนะ Summoner Ball นะฮะ
สวัสดีเพื่อนทุกคนนะครับผมแอดกล้องจาก ADK ก้องไก่กรุ๊กนะครับสุขสันต์วันครบรอบ6 ปีของ Summoner Ball ด้วยนะฮะรักนะ Summoner Ball
สวัสดีครับผมอู๋ทูนูฟเกมแคสเตอร์ครับผม Summoners War ฉลองครบรอบ6 ปีแล้วขออวยพรให้ Summoners War นะครับผมเป็นเกมที่ดีแบบนี้ไปนานๆรักนะ Summoners War
โอเคก็สวัสดีครับผมF to Love นะครับผมจาก Channel to Love นะครับผมก็ขออวยพรให้เกมนี้นะครับผมอยู่กันไปยิ่งยืนนานขอไปก็อยากจะบอกว่ารักนะ Summoner War
สวัสดีครับผมเน่งจูดาสไทยแลนด์นะครับผมยังไงนะครับผมก็ขอให้ Summoner War นะฮะทำคอนเทนต์ดีๆให้กับเรานะครับรักนะครับ Summoner War สวัสดีครับ
Hai guys, saya Suwandi, Gafri Games mengucapkan selamat ulang tahun yang ke-6 untuk Summoner War. Semoga player lama terus betah bermain, player baru terus bertambah, konten game yang semakin menarik, dan event yang semakin meriah. Sukses terus!
Halo, saya Sim Game mengucapkan selamat ulang tahun yang ke-6 buat Summoners War. Semoga gamenya makin berkembang, terutama komunitas di Indonesia itu juga ikut berkembang, oke?
Mừng sinh nhật thật là ý nghĩa đến Summoner War. Chúc sức khỏe, thành công cũng như là mọi may mắn sẽ đến với tất cả các anh em đang chơi Summoner War của Việt Nam cũng như là thế giới.
Xin chào tất cả các nhà hiệu triều. Chúng tôi đến từ Ruby Club. Happy birthday to Summoner War.
Dapat guys, meron din tayo doon. At ako hindi, joke lang. Kahit pa paano may Filipino man lang doon, sana. Sayang.
Thank you so much for watching and staying with us. We're gonna have a couple more rewards for you right now.
Dapat may Filipino rin doon eh. Wala pa, 125 pa lang tayo eh. Subscribers eh.
Right now is a good time to give out some more gifts.
Less than 2,000 subscribers ata yun. Yung kinukuha nila doon.
For the new coupon.
Yeah, here we go. Coupon code coming right up.
Yep.
And also stay tuned with our mods for the links to those as well if you're not on Android.
Exactly.
And there we go. Event coupon code this.
이번에 신규 장비인 아티팩트가 추가되는데요. 어떤 방식으로 줄까에 대해서 좀 고민을 많이 했었어요. 소환사 여러분들 주된 파밍 장소인 카이로스 던전이 갖고 있는 의미가 있더라고요.
신규 카이로스 던전은 기존 던전들보다 난이도가 살짝 높아진 만큼 조금 더 강력하고 차별화된 보스 이미지가 필요했습니다. 오랜 시간 동안 깊이 잠들어 있던 던전이 깨어나 하나의 강력한 유기체가 된다라는 설정인데요.
현대에서 나오는 그런 즉각적인 느낌의 회로도보다는 약간 유선형의 회로를 사용하는 게 어떨까? 빛이 모여들어서 보스가 구동을 할 때 배경도 같이 움직이는 형태로 가서 일종의 초고대 문명이라는 느낌으로 해서 진행하게 되었습니다.
워낙 오랜 시간 동안 잠들어 있었기 때문에 새 것에 반짝이는 금속 표현보다는 다소 거친 느낌의 표현을 주려고 노력했어요. 보스들도 고대 문명이 만들어낸 병기다. 처음에는 이제 어떤 분위기일지 저희가 모든 것을 상상하는 단계이기 때문에 벽에 있던 석상이 로봇으로 변신을 한다든지 아니면 땅에 흩어져 있던 것들이 이렇게 결합한다든지 여러 가지 시안이 나왔어요. 제가 처음에 잡았던 시안인데 처음에 날개가 이렇게 앞으로 돼 있다가 이렇게 열리면서 웅장한 보스의 형태가 나오는 시안이 있었어요. 그러다가 점차 분리, 합체, 연동이라는 개념을 포커싱되어 지금 보스가 탄생하게 되었습니다.
어떤 움직임이나 이런 이펙트나 이런 연출들이 스팀펑크처럼 덜그럭거리거나 아니면 고장나서 삐그덕대는 느낌이 아니고 유기적인 느낌으로 스킬들도 좀 더 빔이나 레이저나 문명 병기들을 좀 이용하려고 하고 있습니다.
기존에
있던 파이러스 던전 보스들은 뭔가 묵직하고 좀 정석화된 스킬 구성을 가지고 있었다면은 좀 더 스타일리시하고 좀 세련된 약간 트렌디한 그런 쪽의 보스 스킬 구성을 가지고 있습니다. 좀 강압과를 자신한테 4개를 건다든지 아니면 스킬이 지나다든지 약간 이런 것들이 좀 기본 생명체한테 있는 게 아니라 좀 만들어진 생명체한테 있는 스킬 구성을 생각을 해서 보스 스킬 구성이 탄생했던 것 같습니다.
가장 고려될 부분이 기존 카이러스와 얼마나 다르고 얼마나 같을까라는 점이었어요. 모바일 게임에는 3배속 가속 기능이 있어요. 그래서 저희가 1배속으로 작업을 해도 보통 쾅 제가 이게 타격감을 주는데 콩콩 팍팍 이거잖아요. 그래서 크기가 작아지면서 주변에 오브젝트를 띄운 형태로 가게 되면 타격감이나 그런 것들이 속도에 관련돼서도 충분히 그 부분까지 묘사가 될 수 있겠다 해서 같이 회전하는 느낌 형태로 지금 생각하고 있습니다.
이번에 던전 보스들을 디자인하면서 화면 밖으로 느껴지는 그런 감정들이 있으면 좋겠다고 생각을 했어요. 예를 들면 빛 속성 같은 경우는 디자인 자체가 굉장히 예리하고 날카롭기 때문에 바람을 느낀다든지 굉장히 무게감 있고 웅장한 보스이기 때문에
3D animation.
이 화면 자체에서 위협감을 느낀다든지 직접 피부로도 닿는 느낌을 받으셨으면 좋겠다는 생각으로 디자인했습니다.
소환사 여러분들의 새로운 경험, 좋은 룬을 얻었을 때 그런 득템을 했다는 기분을 좀 새롭게 다시 한번 줄 수 있지 않을까 해서 신규 장비를 고민하게 됐고요.
처음에는 좀 그 해당 몬스터의 전용 장비 이런 느낌으로 스킬이 강화된다든지 좀 새로운 능력을 부여한다든지 약간 이런 쪽으로 생각을 했었는데 그렇게 될 경우에 그 하나의 몬스터에 대한 특색이나 개성이 사라지는 것 같은 느낌이 들고 상대편 입장에서는 그 몬스터가 어떤 아티팩트를 끼고 있는지 또는 어떤 스킬이 변경되었는지 그런 정보의 모호함이 있기 때문에 범용적인 약간 아티팩트를 만드는 게 더 좋겠다 해서 그렇게 기획이 시작되었고
기존에 없던 특별한 힘이 봉인된 고대의 물건인 만큼 세월이 흘러도 쉽게 훼손되지 않는 강인함이나 보석의 고귀함을 담고 싶었는데요. 디자인은 가운데 박힌 아티팩트 주변을 금장식으로 감싸고 속성과 타입에 따라서 여러 가지 색상을 담을 수 있는 요소를 추가해 보았습니다.
어떻게 보면 많이 다르고 어떻게 보면 좀 비슷할 수도 있다는 생각이 들어요. 룬과는 다르게 항상 적용되는 게 아니라 특정 상황에서 좀 더 피해를 더 많이 주거나 피해를 덜 받거나 뭐 이런 상황들을 만들 수 있는 주 옵션이 물론 중요하죠. 근데 그것보다 더 부옵션의 중요도가 높을 것 같아요. 부옵션은 아티팩트별로 30에서 40개 정도로 생각하고 있어요.
저 같은 경우에는 이제 월드 아레나를 할 때 불속성 몬스터를 가진 유저들과 경쟁을 하게 되면 굉장히 힘든데 불속성 몬스터한테 피해를 덜 받는다든지 좀 더 도움이 되는 아티팩트를 착용하게 된다면 더 좋은 전략이 생기지 않을까?
PVE 같은 경우에는 그 보스에 맞는 아티팩트를 착용하게 될 경우에는 좀 더 공략이 좀 더 쉬워질 수도 있을 거고요. 아티팩트를 통해서 좀 더 정교한 커스터마이징이 가능할 거라고 저는 생각하고 있어요. 새로운 PVP를 경험하거나 새로운 PVE를 경험할 수 있지 않을까?
기본적인 틀을 바꾸거나 또는 밸런스가 무너지는 게 아니라 소환사 여러분들께서 애정하고 좀 아끼는 그 몬스터들이 정교하게 더 강해질 수 있는 좀 더 애정을 줄 수 있는 그런 쪽의 기획이니까 많이 기대해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
월간 던전은 기본적으로 좀 수동으로 플레이할 수 있게끔 구성되어진 던전이고요. 기본 공격력이 800이고 뒤에 붙어있는 공격력이 한 2000 정도인 몬스터가 있다면 이 던전에 들어가게 되면 그 앞에 있던 기본 공격력이 뭐 8000이나 만 정도로 늘어나게 되고요. 뒤에 붙어있는 공격력이 여전히 2000이어서 룬 하나하나의 그런 스텝보다는 몬스터 이해도, 뭐 던전의 이해도 이런 것들이 더 중요시 될 예정입니다.
공허한 미지의 존재, 차원을 넘나드는 이유도 목적도 없고 다 에너지를 흡수하고 먹어치우는 약간 괴물 같은 그런 존재입니다. 처음에는 지능이 뛰어나야지만 차원과 차원을 넘나들 수 있는 힘도 있고 기술도 가지고 있다고 생각해서 문명이 굉장히 발달된 대마법사의 종족의 한 보스 정도 내지는 중간 보스 정도를 예상하고 초반 시한을 잡았었는데요. 정반대로 다시 설정을 잡게 되었습니다. 그 엄청나게 커다란 덩치와 그 유기체처럼 움직이는 그 모습들이 신선하게 다가올 수 있을 것 같다는 생각도 했었고,
보스의 컨셉이 차원을 이동하면서 침입을 하는 컨셉이기 때문에 차원을 찍고 나오자 화면에 금이 가서 그 금이 점점 벌어지면서 손이 나오고 그 손을 이용해서 벌리면서 나오자 어떤 구체가 모여서 이 구체가 갑자기 확장이 되면서 화면에 그냥 구멍을 뚫어서 나오자 이런 식으로 여러 인트로를 만들게 되었고요.
걸링?
차원 포식자의 출현 전후의 카르잔 배경을 비교해 보시면 굉장히 생기가 없어졌다는 걸 느끼실 수 있을 거예요. 차원홀 에너지를 흡수해서 자신의 덩치를 크게 키우거나 오히려 그 힘을 감당하지 못해서 자신의 몸을 갉아먹히는 등
좀 더 몸집이 점점 커지는 형태로 가고 있어요. 그래서 1페이지 했을 때 이만큼이었으면 2페이지에선 좀 더 커지고 3페이지에서는 너무 커져서 자기의 몸이 지탱을 할 수 없으니까 지면에 아예 땅을 딛는 형태로 보스는 엄청 큰데 우리 편이 작기 때문에 물리적인 거리가 안 나오는 거예요. 긴 팔을 가지고 있지만은 뭔가 직접적인 공격을 하는 형태의 보스는 아니라고 생각했기 때문에
가지고 있는 스킬 자체가 좀 그 이 세계와는 좀 다른 되게 어둡고 되게 기분 나쁜 스킬들을 좀 가지고 있습니다. 예를 들어서 어떤 몬스터한테 지속 피해를 부여했을 때 그 몬스터는 해제를 하지 않는 이상 끊임없이 그 지속 피해에 노출되게 됩니다. 그리고 어떤 몬스터한테 3턴 동안 이제 엄청 강력해지는 버프 같은 효과를 부여해주지만은 결국 3턴 뒤에 바로 즉사시켜버리는 그런 무시무시한 스킬도 가지고 있습니다.
이 던전을 만들게 된 취지랑 비슷한 것 같은데요. 보상도 그와 마찬가지로 좀 등급에 상관없이 모두가 만족할 수 있는 보상을 줄 수 있는 게 뭐가 있을까? 그 중에 하나가 좀 고대 룬이었어요. 확정적으로 좀 좋은 옵션에 고대 전설 룬을 소환사분들한테 줄 수는 없을까. 그리고 한 가지 더 바람은 높은 등급과 낮은 등급 간의 격차를 좀 좁힐 수 있지 않을까 라는 기대도 조금 하고 있습니다. 물론 룬 하나로 충분히 되진 않겠지만
기존의 카이로스, 기존의 차원홀에서 좀 더 추가가 되지만 새롭게 열리는 컨텐츠라고 봐도 무방하거든요. 되게 많은 R&D를 했었고 많은 고민을 했었고
소환사 여러분들이 생각지도 못한 몬스터들을 사용해서 공략할 때 좀 굉장히 기분이 좋았는데 이번에 생기는 보스 몬스터들도 좀 그런 새로운 몬스터들이 많이 나왔으면 좋겠습니다.
즐길 거리가 굉장히 많으니까 유저분들도 재미있게 플레이해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
늦게나마 지난 6년 동안 서머너저를 많이 사랑해 주신 소환사 여러분들께 감사의 인사드리고요.
앞으로 더 많은 사랑 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
The influencers are sending their questions right now, and we're gonna see the first one of them. Once in Love.
Once in Love. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, si Once in Love.
Okay, introducing him. Once in Love has been since the
Game.
beginning with us.
Magaling
One of
magtanong
our
yan, magaling
oldest
magtanong
content
yan.
creators, his channel on Twitch. Amazing guy, loves theory crafting. Great
He's an
RTA
intelligent-
player.
He's a super intelligent
Always
guy.
finishes top 10 in TOA.
He's in 2 videos on our channel too.
So he has a very interesting
Once in Love,
question
I play on
right
the
now
global
that he's
server,
gonna pose about
and
the
I've been playing
monthly
for about
dimension.
5 years, but I stream every
Okay,
single
let's hear
day.
his introduction real quick.
So my question is, with the monthly dimensional dungeon, you've mentioned that it moves to different areas in the dimensional hole, but I'm wondering, is that also going to rotate the boss's mechanics, kind of like different bosses in TOA?
네, 안녕하세요. 글로벌 서버에서 5년째
Hindi, dapat
플레이하고
hindi.
스트림하고
Dapat same lang. Ay, hindi mo. Walang sense yun. Ba't pa siya lumilipat?
Okay, there we go. So reiterating on that one more
Tama.
time.
May sense nga yung
So his
tanong mo.
question was, with this monthly dimensional dungeon, is there a plan to have it rotate in different bosses, mechanics, so akin to TOA? Will it change
Okay.
since it goes from one dimension to the other dimension?
Good question. I briefly brought this up just as Oh, excuse me. Just speculating.
Yeah.
I was talking about how the different dimensions already have rule sets applied for each one. Like Karzan currently is Nat 4s or below, right?
Yeah.
Alunia is all of the same element, and then Lumel is just 15 star limit. Is something like that going to be there? So right now that it's being interpreted. So we're going to get the question answered live, and then it's going to be brought to us. So we'll let you know about that. Yeah. Oh.
And just so people in Brazil, since we're not having that translation right now, a pergunta é se cada vez que esse chefão, primeiro o chefão mensal no buraco dimensional muda de local, ele vai ter mecânicas diferentes, os skills dele vão mudar ou as regras vão mudar.
Cool. Let's just see
moving around from Karzan to Alunia and from Alunia to Lumer. And of course there is a limit to entering those dungeons, and I hope you guys will have fun trying to figure out a new build to bring down the boss. And of course the boss's attribute will also change, and it will require manual plays.
끝난 건가요?
nag-iiba nga siya.
답변을 듣고 저걸 들었는데도 모르겠어요. 네, 어찌됐든 뭐 답변이 됐는지 모르겠습니다. 우리 팀장님 지금 채팅창에 별명이 생긴 거 아세요? 예. 뭔가요? 대한민국 채팅창에서 수천 분께서 별명을 지어주셨습니다. 바코드라고. 바코드요? 머리 모양 때문에.
Okay, so it looks like the answer was delivered. We don't have audio for the moment, so we won't be able to know his answer. But that's the answer. There you go, translated directly live. I'll watch it later. I'll go watch the VOD after this. Awesome. That was Once in Love. And remember that we're still gonna have a bunch.
Yeah, I think we have over 10 questions.
What? That's really funny.
They just did a burn. They just did a burn live.
Yo, that was funny. Wow, that was funny. That was really funny. That was really funny. Oh, okay. It looks like someone's trying to translate the answer for us so we can hear it as well. In the moment.
So he's talking now about the crit animations.
Critical. Yung nagko-close up.
He's saying that a lot of the players in Korea have a different opinion from the global players, the players on the Western side, the cultures, and the communities are extremely different. And we've seen that. Like,
Summoners War's a global game.
Yeah, that we represent this side of the world. We've clashed even with people from different places. And the second question also comes from another part of the world. The first one from the US, second one comes from Europe with Obabo.
Okay, we'll let Obabo introduce himself here. Yeah.
Hello, please introduce yourself, like where you're from, and
that,
please ask your question
not
right away.
only a streamer, but
hello
also
everyone, I'm from
amazing
Sweden.
RTA player.
My name is Obabo and I play on the Europe server. So I was wondering if these new Kairos dungeons are going to be limited to energy like the ones we currently have, or if they're going to be limited in terms of playability, like for example the dimensional.
네, 안녕하세요. 유럽 서버에서 플레이하고 있는 오바보라고
These new
합니다.
Kairos dungeons are limited to energy like the older ones, or are they limited in terms of playability or other type of different rules?
Nice, and I'm happy to hear that too, because I obviously I personally like it to be traditional energy. We've seen a lot of different consumables added into the game as well. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they're going to say. I think Obabo's got a good question. That's something that I thought of too. It's like, because traditionally with new items, they introduce a new energy. I mean, even with ancient runes, which aren't too far off from regular runes, right? They introduced it. My personal thought, and this is by no means the actual answer, we'll get the actual answer shortly. I would think that it'd be energy, because it's in the same realm as the other dungeons.
Yeah, I think too that
it's in Kairos, right? Like, we introduced the dimension energy because it was a new place. It was a new dimensional. So.
And about the first question, some people were asking about it. So what they said is that the monthly dungeon will be reset every month, and the boss will move from dimension to dimension, so it will be affected by the limitations of each one of those. So like Evan said, in Karzam there's some limitations.
For each
you can
one,
only
right?
use 4 stars in certain ones, in other ones you have a limit of stars, etc.
Awesome. Yeah, there we go. So and it's even more viable now because the stats will be boosted by 10. So looking back here, he's given quite a detailed answer. I kind of appreciate where he's coming from, because I would have just said energy or not energy.
Can you hear me?
I appreciate it. I appreciate the detail.
Yeah. Use energy. Yeah.
use energy? Alright.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
9 energy.
Sounds like that's the case.
9 energy need.
Sounds like you were right.
And
about it.
drop
It'll be normal energy,
percentage
part of the
growing up.
Kairos, and it should.
Alright, looking forward to it.
Yep.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Do you drunken?
If I drink.
Many people say.
Yeah, the thing is,
oh,
how much energy will
he's
we spend
drunken.
for the B12s?
I mean, you can ask Yunja.
That's what I want to do.
이거 못 알아들었어요. 통역분께 네네 한번 얘기를.
예.
As MC has said, there will be no changes to usage of energies. It's the same as before DB10, GB10. We will use 8 energies for 10th floor. And as for the 11th floor and 12th floor, it will use up to 9 energies. And for the rune drop rates, for legendary 6-star runes, it will increase by 2.5%. Sorry, 2.5 times, and there will be no drops for 5-star runes anymore. And I hope everyone was able to understand my presentation before. Thank you.
예. 이렇게 길게 얘기가 되는군요. 네. 네. 스웨덴에서 오바보 선수는 직접 뛰었던 선수잖아요.
예.
네.
그 작년에 SWC 진출했던 플레이어고 지금 또 상위 랭크에서 굉장히 지금 좋은 활약을 펼치고 있는 예. 올해 SWC 출전도 유력한 선수입니다.
그리고 굉장히 그 독특한 플레이를 많이 보여줘서 또
Yeah, I remember meeting Obama live at the Europe Cup, SWC 2019. He was a participant there. He's a really intelligent player. Honestly, if you guys haven't followed him already, you totally should. Same with Munson Love. All these guys have Twitch channels, YouTube channels. You probably already are familiar with them, but oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah. So 9 energy. Nice. Yeah. So everything will be like that. It'll still be energy. The B12s will use 9 energy, and it'll increase just like before. Cool. Yeah, and people they're talking about the SWC from this year. They'll be completely online. The invitations were sent out already, so if you're a G3 player, check your email box because you might be in there. We'll have the regions like we had last year. They're talking about the Europe Cup, the Asia Cup, the Americas Cup. So that should be very interesting to select the best players in the world to go again. But this time, completely online.
Yeah, completely online. SWC can't be kept down. It's going to happen regardless. SWC 2020 going all online, contactless. That's hard to say. Just like this. It's the hardest thing I've had to say all day. Alright guys, and now, so that was the second question. Looks like we're moving on to the third one right now. This one's going to be from AD Kong. And so, introducing himself right now, he has a question. He's going to say, do the artifacts have limitation in some occasions?
สวัสดีทุกคนนะครับก็นี่แอดกล้อง
Will there
นะ
be
ครับ
a
จาก
big gap between high tier monsters and lower tier? And will it continue to amplify the difference between Nat 5s and lower natural star rated monsters? I think that's a great question.
I would love to hear about that. I actually think it's the opposite.
Yeah, and that's something. That's a great point. It'll make it more viable for certain skills that you want to play with. Like you'll have the tools to make it work a little better.
Yeah.
And it's not about stats, right? It's about amplifying what makes the monster.
It doesn't
cool.
have percentages.
But
that's the thing.
The part of that question that I'm really hoping gets answered too is the limitations part. It's like, can we use it in RTA? Is it just for PvP or PvE rather? Like that's what I want to know about.
Well, if they showed it in the Rune Manager,
that makes me think it's everywhere.
Exactly.
That makes me think it's everywhere.
Exactly. So he's asking, showing his little Sharky there, it up, and hopefully we can hear a little bit about it from Kim Tae-ya.
아티팩트 적용 제한 사항이 있는지하고 그다음에 태오성 뭐 이런 몬스터별로 뭔가 차이가 있는지 뭐 이런 질문을 하신 것 같거든요.
아티팩트
Now their biggest worry is that gap.
등급 몬스터의 태생 등급과 상관없이 사용할 수 있을 거고요. 대신에 육성까지 진화된 몬스터에게만 착용할 수 있습니다. 그리고 또 아티팩트는 속성이랑 타입으로 나눠져 있어서요. 그 속성에 맞는 아티팩트를 착용해야 되고 그 타입에 맞는 아티팩트를 착용해야지 사용할 수 있습니다.
So Nat 5s, Nat 4s, Nat 3s, Nat 1s, everyone, maybe even your Devilmon, that 6-star Devilmon that you built.
Can have a stronger third skill, right?
But a big thing is the monster has to be 6-star to be equipped with artifacts.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a really good thing to note, actually.
9옵션
And there's a partial limitation that is the types and the attributes that are limited. So you can only equip accordingly to that monster, right? Like we spoke about it. So if it's a wind monster, wind artifact. You can't equip the fire artifact on it.
And it looks like right now just they're still talking about the gap.
그래요?
네.
좀 대립각을 세우시는 것 같아서 여쭤봤습니다.
아닙니다. 저는 그냥 통역해 주시는 분이 되게 힘드시겠다 이런 생각을 하고 있었던 거고요.
왜냐면 진짜 통역하시는 분들이 서머너조에 푹 빠져 계신 분이 아니면 사실 통역하기가 쉽지가 않으시긴 할 거예요.
깊이가 있는 내용이기도 해서 방금 내용은 굉장히 통역하시기 어려우시겠다는 생각이 좀 많이 들었고, 뭐 저는 개인적으로 지영 팀장 의견을 굉장히 동의하는 편이고요. 저희가 뭐 지난 행사 때도 말씀드렸지만 뭐 태생 등급이 높다고 해서 저희가 뭐 가치가 더 높아지는 형태의 어떤 이런 밸런스는 하고 싶지 않아서.
Remember, guys, there's people from all over the world, different languages, so they're trying to get the questions from them to Korean, then from Korean to English.
Right. So, เขาบอกว่า artifact สามารถใส่ได้โดยไม่มีข้อจำกัดแต่ทีนี้ artifact จะแบ่งเป็น2อย่างอย่างที่ได้ทราบไปตอนที่ present ตอนแรกคือจะแบ่งเป็น artifact ตามธาตุและ artifact ตามประเภทนะคะ
Di kasi talaga sila
ถ้า
ma-English
เรา
eh.
ใส่ artifact ให้เหมาะสมกับธาตุหรือประเภท
Kaya
ของ monster ก็จะไม่มีปัญหาส่วนที่กังวลเรื่อง
Kailangan mo ng maraming translator dyan.
ดาวระดับ
Lahat ng
ต่ำ
language.
So the artifact can be used for every monster, but only 6-star monster. It will be applied for the right attribute, right type.
คิดว่าถ้าลองเล่นไปแล้วน่าจะไม่มีปัญหาค่ะคือสเปคของมอนสเตอร์ไม่ได้เอฟเฟกต์กับตรงนี้มากค่ะ
끝났다. 카 하면 끝난 거야. 태국어가 카 이렇게 하면 끝난 거야.
실시간으로 배우시는군요. 예.
근데 확실히 태국어를 잘하시네. 예, 전달이 잘 되는지 모르겠는데 아까 이분께서
Yeah, we already talked about it. So only 6-star monsters can have it. The only limitation is the right type and the right attribute.
Right. Again, like we said a little while ago, they can be used for everybody. But some of them are designed to be advantageous for certain monsters, and they're just generally saying that in general, it's going to make your monsters better no matter which one.
I think it's going to be really interesting for 3-stars and 4-stars, especially because since they affect skills, there's a lot of monsters that have skills that sometimes lack a little bit of a push, and this might be that extra damage, that extra heal that you need on certain monsters to make them viable. For example, did someone in chat know that the Harpu, the light one, so Colleen's sister, reduced attack bar like Lauren? No, people didn't know that. And looks like Kong has another question, and it's also about the artifacts. So will also they have a set effect like runes? If there is, what's the difference compared to runes? I don't think they have an effect, especially from the images that we saw.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Thank you to Come To Us Dad, by the way, for the translations on the questions. I appreciate it. What's the difference compared to runes? That's a great question.
좋은 질문이다.
심도 있는
이건 좋은 질문이다. 세트 효과가 있나요?
네, 아티팩트는 룬과 다르게 세트 효과는 없고요. 아티팩트별로 그 옵션들이 그런 기존의 룬 세트처럼 그런 고유한 능력을 가지고 있기 때문에 따로 세트 효과는 없습니다. 네.
그냥 쓰시면 된답니다.
Looks like they do not have set effects, which we would assume, right? Because they didn't have it didn't say vampire artifact.
Yeah, and it said set effect on top, and it only had the violin and the will.
Right.
And it wouldn't make sense because the artifacts are based on attribute and element. So how can you make like a set out of that?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's overcomplicating something. It's just 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's very different. It's very different. It doesn't affect just stats like the runes. It affects skills. It affects specific abilities. So it's a completely new realm to the game per se.
언제까지 대법만 할 수는 없잖아요.
예, 아예 오히려 방송을 접고 잠깐 좀 파밍의 시간을 가져야 되지 않을까 이런 생각도 가지고 있고요. 예. 일단 몬스터 가지고
And right now they're discussing about if what they're going to be using the artifacts for, how much they're going to be using it.
Yeah, and like we said, that's probably the main topic of questions because it's the newest thing. It's a new concept brought into the game. So we might see a lot of questions about it because people are just extremely curious. Now we have Subaru from Japan introducing themselves right there.
日本で、ビジュアル系バンドロイズでサマナーズを楽しませていただいてますボーカルのスバル対馬よしこです。かっこいいなキピンティスです。 皆さんいつも
They
あ
asked
りがとうございます。
if can we apply the artifacts in the world arena in
Finally,
RTA?
somebody asked.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
big questions. huh?
Amazing.
はい、
That's what we want to know.
Hard-hitting
ちょっと他に
journalism.
も
That's what I
なん
want.
ですけども、
That's what we want to
新しく
know.
実装されるアーティファクトは、ワールドアリーナを含むすべてのコンテンツで、使わ
And
れ
what do you
る
think, Evan? Would you
反
like
映
to
さ
see
れる
that
の
in
か
the world
という
arena?
ことを
Do you
知り
think
た
it
い
would
です。
be
お願い
like
し
an
ます。
overcomplication? What do you think? With SWC around the corner?
I don't necessarily know if I'd call it an overcomplication, only because when you think about when you see a monster, you don't necessarily have to think about like, oh, I wonder what effect is going to be. You think about what you know about the monster, and naturally you're going to want to enhance the effect that they know. So it's like illusion, for example. You want to enhance the third skill damage and ignore defense damage, right? You don't have to speculate too hard on what it might be. It's more than likely going to be on the thing that makes the monster better at the thing they're good at doing.
I completely agree. It's not a big surprise because if you see a monster, you know what type of attribute he has and what type of monster he is. But this just brings maybe new monsters to the table, which I think is very exciting for SWC. We might see very different comps, new counters to other monsters, and Kim Tae-young is just saying right now that yes,
They are
be
nice.
applicable
They
to
are.
RTA. So SWC probably will have some of those hanging around.
That's great, big numbers coming out of that damage. So it looks like they're having an active discussion about it right now. Right now they're saying it will be applicable to World Arena, but at the same time they're just discussing it. And he's saying something similar. Once the artifacts are introduced, monsters can be strategically played with and make them more fun. And that's kind of what we were saying. You don't really have to think too hard about what illusion is going to have as far as a sub attribute because you're going to want to make it that ignore defense effect, right? Probably.
Yeah. The cool thing is sometimes it might bring monsters that we didn't see as good monsters for RTA. Now with this, like, it's kind of getting a small buff. You know, it's kind of getting a percentage buff that might make this monster usable to certain parts of the game, not only RTA.
우리 그 질문자에게 우리 통역사분께서 통역을 좀 부탁드립니다.
There we go. So they said exactly that.
アーティファクトはワールドアリーナを含め、に全て適用される予定です。内部でいろいろな検討をしたのですけども、アーティファクトを導入することによってたくさんのモンスターが戦略的に活用されるということを予想しているので、ワールドアリーナにも他のコンテンツにも適用することに決めました。ただ最後までバランステストを行っていく予定ですので、サービス良いサービスになるように頑張っていきたいと思います。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。楽しませていただきます。
근데 일본 분들은 항상 끝날 때
Alright, there they go. They're saying their goodbye.
이러는데 그거 잘못했습니다.
So we're just going to be preparing for the next question.
Yeah, next up is a friend of ours. We've had it on stream.
We had him on stream?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love him. Directly
again
from France. We're gonna have him introduce himself, Junpei.
Yeah.
근데 분명히 일본에서 밥 먹기 전에 이렇게 이타다키마스 이렇게 하고 밥을 먹거든요. 근데 말 끝날 때 자꾸 이타다키마스를
I had the opportunity to meet Junpei back in.
Oh, guys in chat are asking in Portuguese. Os artefatos sim poderão ser usados na RTA e eles pensaram muito sobre isso, mas querem que seja usado porque realmente não é uma coisa que traz muita surpresa, porque tem um tipo definido já.
There he is. There's Junpei. We'll let him ask the question.
Bonjour, veuillez vous présenter puis poser votre question.
Bonjour, c'est Junpei. Écoutez, ça fait 6 ans que je stream du Summoner's War et que enfin non 5 ans et que 6 ans que je joue. Et la question c'était, pourriez-vous nous partager quelques informations concernant les nouveaux monstres qui seront seconds éveillés?
안녕하세요. 프랑스에서 온 준페이라고 합니다. 서머너 주어를 즐긴 지는 6년 됐고 스트리밍을 한 지는 5년 됐습니다. 질문 드리겠습니다. 현재 개발 중인 신규 2차 각성 몬스터를 공유해 주실 수 있나요?
Question.
네네.
신규 2차
Question. So he's asking about, are they at liberty to share what monsters are being developed for Secondary Awakening? That's a great question. I think it's something that I see people discussing a lot. I hashtag bark for Tark.
If they say Hellhounds, we're about to jump.
Bark for Tark, dude. Group hunt brings 3, 4.
If they say Hellhounds, I say how high?
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so
amazing.
Great question. Glad he's asking that.
죽음의 차원 뭐 이런 형태로 해서
Oh, cool. Okay, so he's saying right now that they don't want to share any names, but they're going to be updating a new dimension in the future, and new dimensions.
Whoa, so new dimension, another place for the new boss to jump to.
Said half of this year, but I can't pinpoint when it'll go through. Okay, cool. So I mean, obviously it's great to hear that we're still going to be seeing frequent updates even after the massive update comes out, right? Dude, this update's so big. It's really good, but it's good to hear that they're already planning stuff coming afterwards.
Ok, merci.
네, 고맙습니다.
Looks like they're saying third, fourth quarter of the year, but it's hard to tell exactly.
해드리면 이제 그걸 딱 준비할 거 아니에요. 네, 조금 곤란한 질문이었나?
Very good question.
팀장님 대립감 혹시 없습니까?
And I was really curious about the World Arena part too.
Yeah, for me that's the main thing. I want to know about right now, about what's going on with this update. You know, looking into the future is great, and we might think that like we have way more new monsters and new 2As coming out, but I want to see how this affects the game. I'm excited to try all these artifacts on a lot of different monsters.
Yeah.
지금 얘기를 들어보면 확실히
Looks like they're going to be transitioning into the next
앞으로의
one.
개발 계획이라든가
2A serpents, you'd like Shylock.
Wait, who said serpents?
Somebody suggested.
Hey, Jerry, I love you.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I was using Shylock.
Yeah, that's really
this
funny.
week.
Okay, looks like we have 5 more questions left. Looks like we got five
So
more
total
questions
10.
in the time here.
또 새로운 이차각성 몬스터들 원하는 게 아닌가 하는 생각이 듭니다.
Looks like they're kind of.
People are saying Drunken Master. Who said that? I love you too.
That'd be really fun.
어디서 인사 부탁드리고 네 바로 질문을 좀
Okay, so who do we have up right now? Okay,
Directly from Taiwan, we have
Duoa.
Duoa. Nice.
Will, very cool. Awesome. Okay, so let him introduce himself.
那这边呢，我想要请问一下，就是说新出的筋膜石头，它之後可不可以透過筋膜精煉石做附屬的洗刷跟強化的部分？就這樣，謝謝。
네, 안녕하세요. 대만에서 온 도와라고 합니다.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for the translation. Will there be sub options and converting systems like gems and grindstones?
같은 거 나온 건지 궁금합니다.
I can't wait to hear about this. So like, if you don't roll
will there? Basically, what he's asking is: 1, will we have reapps for artifacts? 2, will we have grinds or jams for artifacts?
So again, we won't have to speculate for very long because they're going to bring us the answer soon. But while they're giving it and while we're having it translated, my thought would be that would be something that they would probably include just because it's kind of akin to a rune and it features like a rune, like it's next to the rune, so maybe that's something. But yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that this would be something more unique, so I wouldn't want to follow the same pattern of other parts of the game, at least this far. So let's see what they say, if they're gonna do something on the same.
It would be interesting. The only reason why I would kind of expect it is because since it seems there's going to be such a wide, like there's going to be just such a vast breadth of like qualities you can have, it'd be kind of nice to earn them in the background and add them in if you can't get that same one, that exact one that you want. But you know, system is a little bit okay, cool. So right now they're going into it. So they're saying they expect to have some sort of converting system that could change just one option. They say that they're going to share more detailed information in a developer's note later. The main reason a new feature is to make the farming more enjoyable. Okay, yeah, that's great. A great answer. To make
so no reapps for the
no reapps. Yeah, I think another because we already have 2 different reapps in the game.
Yeah.
We got ancient reapps, we got regular reapps. So I like that. If they were going to choose one, I'm glad it's that one.
확실히 PD님은 정통 게임파신 것 같아요.
And apparently say that the change system will be incorporated in this update.
Yeah.
팀장님은 약간 new generation?
That would be cool just because if I'm trying to get the right artifact, I'd like to have some sort of say in one of those sub options. I'm glad that they're not doing a re-app for it at the time. I'm glad that they're just doing the one change.
혹시 회사에서 평상시에 이런 거 갖고 이제 당연히 저는 개발자분들이 당연히 토론을 하고 어떤 게 옳은 것인가에 대해서 의견을 많이 나눌 거 아니에요.
How the head of design is a little bit younger and kind of a new generation, so they have different styles of gaming and
I'm happy to hear
games.
that. You know,
so they're clashing a little bit.
Because like a lot can happen in 6 years, right? A lot of ideas can be placed and set in stone and thought like this is Summoner's War, but new players, new blood can come in and say, actually, could we maybe challenge that idea?
We're We're different.
Yeah,
We're
I know.
very different
You and I have
gamers.
completely different ideas about stuff. That's why we work so well together. So I'm glad that they have a similar system in place there.
And he's saying, do they ask if they fight? He said, we agree and disagree sometimes.
That sounds like
that sounds like they fight.
That sounds right. That sounds like a productive fight. That's what it sounds like. Oh, he says he always respects his opinion. That's really
you better.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you got to talk. You're equals, right?
우리 박고 팀장에게 많이 밀립니다. 뭐 기획 분야에 있어서는 이랬는데 팀장님은 전혀 그렇지 않다.
I don't think he's saying. I think yeah, he
원래
respects
이제
him.
기획이랑 개발이 다른 분야다 보니까 이제 의견 대립 같은 것도 있을 수 있는데 뭔가 다른 의견들이 이 대립을 하면서 서로 의논하면서
He's talking
좀더
about
나은
the
결과를 도출할
boss,
수 있는 긍정적인
the boss
효과가
relate, like
있다라고
he's their
생각합니다.
boss, so they're talking about that
아까
relationship in the office
통역으로
right now.
답변을 못 드렸어요. 예, 그래서 통역으로 답변을 좀 드리도록 하겠습니다.
我们开发这个新的魔框这一项道具呢的目标是希望可以带来玩家一些新的刷道具的乐趣。那至于像是符文的筋膜精炼的系统呢，我们预计是会跟它有点不一样的。目前我们的计划是预计会推出一个可以改变魔框其中一个属性的变换系统。那像是筋膜石那样子的形式的话，目前是没有计划的。那关于有关比较详细的内容呢，晚一点我们会透过开发者日志公布给大家看。那敬请稍微期待一下哦。谢谢。
지금 방금 우리가 얘기한 이 내용들을 다 통역하신 건 아니겠죠? 왜냐면 우리 굉장히 짧았잖아요. 그런 계획 없습니다 했잖아요. 근데 굉장히 통역이 길어서 두 분이 대립각 세운다는 얘기 통역하신 거 아닌가?
내부 사정까지 전부 다
네네.
하셨을 수도 있겠는데.
네. 아무튼 네, 많이 기다려서
So right now it
고맙고요.
sounds like they're trying to
고맙습니다.
make sure that everything that the person asked is translated back to them properly, right? They want to make sure that all of the answer was communicated. Okay, and it looks like they're thanking them now. Again, guys, so we still have a few questions remaining, and those are going to be translated live.
얘기를 나누고 시간을 끄는 점이 있다는 점, 네, 조금만
And they're just reiterating that they're actually collecting questions from a bunch of different countries. So many representatives from all over the world.
Now, from Korea, we have
네,
the
안녕하세요.
next
네, 한국
question.
서버에서 하고 있는 배우르그입니다.
다행이다. 마음 편해졌어요. 네, 배우르그님 어떤 질문
네.
가지고 오셨나요?
일단 오늘 패치가 좀 굉장히 새로운 것 같아요.
Being very direct.
이게
Yes.
언제
Wow.
도입이 되는지
So he's
패치가 언제
asking,
되는지
can you tell us
궁금하고요.
when will
그리고
be
추가적으로
the update
자동
and
연속 사냥
when the
추가된다고
autoplay
말씀하셨는데
feature
그게 이제
can be
검토
applied
중이신데
or
이게
expected?
언제쯤에 만약에 도입이 될지 이것도 좀 궁금합니다.
So very direct.
Yeah, very direct.
Yeah, like not going around. This guy sees a girl.
When
You want to go
we-
out
you
with
wanna-
me?
let's go.
Dinner. I got the dinner
Dinner.
already for you.
같은 경우에
There's no running around.
Okay, here we go. So he's and this will be translated live from him.
현재 개발 막바지이고요. 다음 업데이트를 통해서 아마 여러분들께 선보일 수 있게 되지 않을까 생각이 됩니다. 그래서
He's saying that the presentation he gave
제가
today
좀
included
여러 가지
artifacts, the monthly
내부적인
dungeons,
그런 밸런스라든가
artifacts,
개발이 좀
and they're in the
나오는
final
상태라서
phases of development for that right now.
다음
So
주
he's saying that
이렇게
he's sure that they can
약속드리기는
deliver it
조금 조심스럽지만
probably sooner than most people can
약속드릴 수 있는
expect.
건 다음에 업데이트 되면
They just want to make sure that everything's touched up before they make it public.
Yeah, they want to make sure it's balanced before it comes out to not impact it
연속 자동
too hard.
전투 같은
And he
경우에는
can't say exactly the day, obviously.
Yeah, he's not going to give a definite timeline, and that's good. I want him to a degree, like he says, it's almost soon, or it's almost ready to go out, but take the time to test it and make sure it's stable and all good.
아까 잠깐 말씀을 드리긴 했는데 연속 전투를 하면서 어떤
Yeah, and what he's saying is
관리가
those things are the ones that are coming out in this next update. So basically saying that the autoplay feature won't be in this immediate, that's going to be very soon update, and that they want to make it unique to the game and not just copy something and just put it in anyway, like, oh yeah, let's just throw in an autoplay feature and see how it goes. No, he's taking the,
Oh, look at that.
very
And
careful.
while you're using the feature, you could check out your runes, rune info, think about team and strategies. That's a great idea.
So you're not just wasting time, just like wrestling.
That's
You can do
so.
other
So what
stuff.
he's thinking when he talks about autoplay feature, he's not just thinking like play, set the phone down, go. He's saying you can still engage
Do
with different
productive
projects.
stuff if
That's
you want.
amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's kind of akin to what
Maybe
I
we
wanted.
could be like in a
Dude,
chat room, you know,
that's
roasting
so
your
dope.
guildmates.
That's something that I've been wanting, and I know a lot of people in chat have been wanting too. It's like when you open up a rune in a dungeon, just power it up right then and there. This is kind of like that idea expanded.
If you're auto farming and then you can power up those runes that you haven't powered up, at least you're using
Dude, what if you could equip them to monsters live? That'd be. I don't know how that would work, but that's kind of cool. So I really like that answer. I really like that answer.
So that shows us that they're really working on it. So you might expect that also after.
That would be, and that's more useful than what I thought, because I was assuming if they're thinking autoplay, turn it on and the screen goes off. I love that I could still potentially play the game with this idea. Reiterating, it won't be in this update, he's saying. However, they do have a different idea of how it can be applied, and it sounds like that they're thinking about this positively. And it's a great time for it too, because they're adding in all these new dungeon floors, new dungeons, a monthly dungeon. Like, that's a lot of farming.
도입의 시점을 지금 찾는 것이고 어떻게 해법을 찾는 것이다라는 건 도입이 되는 건 맞는데
Nice.
그것에 대해서 해결을 언제 할 수 있을지
I wasn't expecting that much detail about it.
I thought he was gonna totally like just dodge that one, you know? Like,
yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And he actually talked about the plans. That's dope, and that's a great plan. I'm super into that.
And now they're asking, when you say considering, are you saying that it might happen or that it will happen?
Cool. Okay, that's wow. You're saying that. Okay. So they're asking him again. Is this going to be applied, or are you thinking about it? Very cool. Okay. Let's see what he says. Just want to make sure that we get the full thing. So he says the goal is to introduce it, but we had some initial concern, and I see where he's coming from. So they've been debating about it for a while. Said that they've had internal discussions, one way or the other, and he's saying that once we apply the autoplay, then we might lose some people from the game. Like they might get disinterested.
Especially now that we're getting so many new players because of the 6th anniversary. So you got to be really careful.
Your interest in the monsters that you're using could be diminished. You could just be generally disinterested in the game if you're disconnected from it like that. And so I think where he's coming from with that idea about interacting with different portions of the game is a really cool solution to that.
Yeah.
So they say that they're not going to apply a simple, like copy-pasted autoplay idea. They want to make sure that if you're using it, you can still engrave runes, consider the team, improve other aspects. It's way better. Way better. Dude, it's like that's amazing.
So I like his idea of having this feature of like strategizing, runing, doing other stuff while doing so. It's something that it's very akin to what happened right now. We, on the Rune Manager, when you're upgrading runes, you couldn't chat, remember?
Right.
And they just added, so it was something very like time wasting. You're upgrading a rune, but you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So he's thinking about that multitasking, doing different things, and not getting disconnected from the game.
Okay, so he's right now they're saying like while you're doing the autoplay, you can notice that better runes appeared, and then so you can go and like power it up, and then you could like bring it back. Wow, very cool. That was a great answer.
뭐든지 괜찮아요. 어떤 질문이든 괜찮습니다. 한번 해주시죠.
저한테 질문이 있을지 몰랐는데 그래도 준비해온 게 하나 있긴 하거든요.
그래요?
예.
막 정말 당황시키는 거 아니야?
네, 그 정도는 아니고요. 예.
So we'll have a question directly from Yoonja. He's also an influencer.
From Yang Hong on the studios? Yang Hong or Byungjan?
That's Yoonja's name.
That's amazing.
Yoonja's nickname.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know his name.
I do, and I've actually met him a few times.
You know what I like? People that have like these really cool nicknames and mysterious, you know, like you, for example.
Oh,
nickname Evan. Real name Evan.
Very mysterious. I'm quite enigmatic, right? Like,
this guy's a
I'm just a
puzzle.
mystery.